everyone who's there in person. But nice to meet
Great,
everyone. Excited to be working together.
Great. And what language are you using? I'm sorry, I probably missed this.
Both Python and Rust.
Okay. So you're going to be doing some binary bindings from Rust to Python, or?
Just some of the FFIs that are available, using some of those. You can probably guess which parts of the validator are going to run in Rust and which are in Python. But yeah, without getting too much into it.
Cool. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Welcome to the party, so to say.
Awesome. Yeah. Glad to meet you. Nice to be here.
Right. Who else want to introduce? Who is new here? Cool. I guess then everyone was already here. So let's start with the progress update. Again, who wish to make some updates on the progress, to share what your team is currently working on, what problems you face. Oh, Bernardo, I see you raise the hand.
Hello, everyone. I'm gonna be very brief. I want to say that now Beanwolf is passing the test vector provided by Yamduna and JavaJam. I want to try the test vector provided by Yamixir and Jamsig, but before that, I want to finish to implement the host call function. So yeah, okay, that's all. I want to say that after a lot of work, it's amazing see Beanwolf importing the first block. So thank you all of you guys that are participating in the testnet. That's all.
Thank you, Bernard. And thank for all the amazing team who are posting their test vectors and for testing the block import. Righty, who wanna be next?
I can take it. Yeah, I'm Jimmy from Gossamer. We've largely been focusing on some refactors and cleanups and just like improvements on our PVM recently. We're at the very tail end of M1. Pretty much we just need to finish up some of these PVM changes and should be good to go. And then can start working out and helping on conformance things. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, that's pretty much my update right now.
Thank you, Jimmy. Saurabh?
Yeah, I guess a lot of I can't think of maybe a quarter of you or maybe half of you have tried out the Jamduna published test vectors, and I've been trying to keep up with like literally 24 issues over the last since our last call. So I think at least 10 or 11 different teams have given at least one piece of feedback. So I think we started with the Safrole and Genesis block kind of stuff, and we are getting into like kind of advanced topics with Bless and privileged state and info and whatever. So it's been a really humbling experience to see how many things are wrong with whatever we're doing, and I'm sure a lot of people who try this out, try matching the other people's test vectors, are discovering a lot of oh, I didn't know that, or oh wow, I knew something that other people didn't. So if you haven't checked it out already, you can go to this Jamduna Jam testnet and find a lot of different, increasingly compliant, I'd like to think, but it goes up to 6.2 and not 6.3 yet. So I think Jason pushed us over the edge into me believing that we're mostly there through a lot of stuff last week, but it was a huge community thing so far. And if you look through the issues in the release notes, you can see like a lot of subtle things that you may run into just as we did. So our hope is that as a team update that we publish a 6.3 compatible trace of like these same 4 data sets. And we currently have this ambition of in a similar way to what you probably hopefully will see in that data set, covering the refined host functions. So we did in the assurances data set cover maybe 2/3 to 90% of the host function in the accumulate invocations. Sorry about that. And then, so for the next one, we're in the refined case. In the refined cases, we'd like to do the same kind of thing for the refined host functions. Invoke, peek, poke, and expunge machine, all that kind of stuff, which will probably push us in a new direction. Not sure if we're going to get that because there's some kind of POCA VM issue that we have to resolve to get things to compile the child invoked guest program. So hope maybe that won't be a sync, but that'll be like a key goal for us to get alignment kind of in the same way that we did with all of you on the refine or guaranteeing process. So not only are we trying to do 6.3 stuff, but refine stuff, and we hope between now and the next call we can get to that kind of community endpoint and sort of debug each other's guaranteeing. It is trickier in our view because of the availability spec and erasure coding, and there are a bunch of unresolved issues. And our idea is to continue in the same way to. Sorry, my dogs are hungry. Publish a data set that other people can also publish data sets, and we're hopeful that other people can get engaged in building their own tiny services that also need guaranteeing. We just did our idea about testing host functions in this way. There's probably like other efforts, and we hope that a lot of you guys who are already publishing test vectors basically explore the host functions in a different way, and then hopefully that'll get a different kind of resilience in testing between all of us. That's an update for us.
Cool, thank you, Saurabh. Thank you for all you're doing for the community with all the test vectors. That's amazing. That's a super active work. We're like in Gossamer super jealous we're not yet there. We're like fine-tuning our PVM implementation and working on SDK. That's, I know maybe Klesio want to share some work done on the SDK side.
I'll bet there's probably 3 more issues that we think we've solved it, but like yesterday, we got an info report, and I'm like, oh, we missed something. So I'll bet you there's 3 to 10 more that we don't know yet, but it'll take the whole group to figure this out together.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what a collaborative work is, huh? That's super amazing. I'm so excited about that. But did you already try to connect multiple different implementations with the networking? To try doing like block producing or something like that?
Network. I mean, I think the idea. So I mean, I think 6 months, or let's see, when we met back in November, I had this idea that we would do networking right away, and I think it's a humbling process to just get alignment on. Can you import each other's blocks? So I think that was a misguess on our part. But I think if we are able to do the guaranteeing together, I think that's like the prereq. If we can do that, then I think we're ready. And I think I basically I thought we had to do a small right away, but maybe we should do tiny first. So I think if other people can get to the same state as Jason, importing the all the ones that are out there and the refine, maybe we could set up in March. Yes, we can do refine, and in April we can actually do now what looks like to be a much easier thing, which is the quick networking compatibility. So my hope is that before the JAMX event, that we have at least 3 teams three teams who have gone into the tiny testnet world with us, and we'll try. We'll start with Jason, but if other people can go immediately afterwards, that would be awesome.
Cool. Thank you for the update.
I'm gonna have to feed my dog now.
Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Please don't be shy.
Was Ecclesio going to give SDK updates?
I don't know if you wish.
I don't know if there were any or not. Sorry to put you on the spot, Ecclesio.
Oh yeah, no problem. Hey guys, yeah, like last call, we were discussing about this possibility of having a, or like the research, like the feasibility of research on having another, like a Golang SDK as it exists for Rust nowadays. So what I was struggling and with with a lot of help from Jan Jakub, I was able to get at least like some compilers builds running, because as far I saw that you guys were also discussing on Telegram about like that things about the number of registers in the PVM, all that stuff, and I was having some problems to discovering what kind of compiler I could use to transform some arbitrary code into that specific architecture. Then I was able to compile two compilers, like to build two compilers. One is Clang, and the other one is GCC. And Clang is more optimal for LLVM intermediate representation. So we are researching like how Golang does well with LLVM through TinyGo and through Go LLVM project as well. But also there is the possibility of, and then yeah, like if we are able to generate cohesive intermediate representation and the LLVM IR, we can use Clang to finally get like the binary, and then through the PVM linker get like the PocaVM log. So yeah, and I was able, like, yeah, this is like a tiny thing that I did for the PVM linker that I was facing some problems with like GCC compiled binaries. It was a small flag that was not supported by PVM link, and now it should work with GCC as well. Now I'm more doing the feasibility research on this IR generation, given that we have like a solid base, like a solid build compiler. That's kind of like updates, not too big updates or nothing like good, not like good news, I would say, but yeah, slowly progress, and we are investigating. We are kind of like documenting on that on a repository that afterwards, if we find that's possible, and if we find that's not possible, we are going to share them with the community. But yeah, like that's like my updates on that.
Cool, thank you, Ecclesio. I mean, in the end of the day, it's all will be possible. It's just a matter of probably the shortest path will be to implement our own Golang compiler to RISC-V, which
yeah,
not that short path in the end of the day, but yeah, we hope we'll find some better options.
Totally.
Great. Anyone else want to share the progress? Jason, go ahead.
I'll just give a pretty brief update. So for Java Jam, I just finished alignment to Grade Paper 0.6.3. Our networking layer is basically complete now. Work package guaranteeing is finished. Assurances, generation, publication. The main thing now for M2 remaining would be auditing and judgments. And I guess Grandpa wants more info is released for that. I think that's all I really wanted to update on.
Cool, thank you. I think that Grandpa won't be really released anything new because the white paper for Grandpa already exists for multiple years. So it's pretty much will be the same implementation as the Polkadot has. Yeah. Who else wanna share, please? Oliver.
Yeah. So, hope my mic is working. From Gray Matter client, like we just progressed a bit on our persistence side, like experimenting with database persistence to kind of set up a node scaffolding. I played around with like quick networking and everything, trying to like figure out how we can sync with different forks in the mix, how to like request blocks from other nodes. This is like mostly orthogonal to our M1 milestone work, but it's just like laying the base work for later milestones. On M1, I think maybe Francisco wants to give an update. There were some, I think he's still on the PVM there. Yeah, but rather short from us in that regard.
Yeah, on the PVM side, I was trying to integrate the Jamduna assurances dataset, trying to import all the blocks. I got into some roadblocks that a lot of you already did, and after updating, the things just went smoothly. I haven't had much time to work on the latest dataset, but everything seems to be going smoothly after all the fixes that you guys did, because of all the requests you got. So thanks for that. We're just trying to integrate those.
Thank you, Francisco and Oliver. Saurabh?
Yeah, there was one cool thing that you guys did that we quickly matched, and we hope other teams will also do something similar, which is to post an API, HTTP classic HTTP endpoint where the state transition files that we generate and other people generate can be received, and whatever format you guys did with Gray Matter, with data, OK null, and whatever the other errors, we thought was exemplary, and we hope that other teams can basically mimic that format of response, so that we don't have to think too hard about like format stuff. We just got replicate that kind of API endpoint. And so what I think that should enable, if other people end up doing the same thing, is that instead of us pulling each other's test vectors, we just sort of like take whatever test vector we have in whatever bucket that we think is valid from whomever, and then we send it to all the endpoints, and that in principle would eliminate all this sort of like we can get like a status of which teams are compatible with what other teams on whatever test vectors without us doing any work. And we started putting that into a GitHub Actions, and if you all have a API endpoint in the style of the Gray Matter team, which we think we matched, I'm not sure exactly, then we can automate that with GitHub Actions. Just send it over to me and I'll add it to the GitHub Actions list, and a list of like networking endpoints, and we will then have a self-grading system across the whole community is what we're thinking, and you guys can just copy that and put it into your own GitHub Actions and put all your friends in there that also should be compatible, and that way we have a collective Borg-like way of like evaluating each other's test vectors as we generate them, and as we have like advancements on various implementations, going to 0.6 whatever to 1.0. So good work there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so this check STF like endpoint is like the one half. Like the other half would be like advanced STF check endpoint, which allows you to like put in the pre-state a block and then it produces post-state. Then we can basically build this compatibility matrix of currently we have this like Excel list of which team authored the vectors and which team can import it. We could then create this matrix automatically in a GitHub action by just querying all of the teams first to author some vectors and then trying to import them from all other teams. Yeah, I mean, that's one step further, but I thought like this checking is like a good first step. Yeah, but thanks for adapting that. I think can do well.
Do we have a links for this Excel file you're talking about with the And also my other question is, do we have, is there a publicly available list of these API endpoints for testing? So ideally, right, everybody needs to know about what APIs are you guys using, and so then everybody can make this standardized.
Yeah, so the idea is currently that we take this this Jamduna test file, like the JSON file that we are like importing, and you just post that to an endpoint. But yeah, I think there's currently no list. I mean, Saurabh has like a list in his repository with the GitHub actions. There's like a text file, I think, to list them all, and we can probably use that for now. Yeah,
Okay, Saurabh, maybe you can at least put the link here or in the channel, and maybe we can make a pull request to the Jamcha or something like that.
I can also briefly update on C++ implementation side. So yeah, we're basically currently assembling the pieces that we have. So we have the first draft of SNP, we have the tree implementation, and yeah, having a good progress with PVM. Yeah, we're getting closer to kind of run the first programs in interpreter mode, and it will probably take another 2 to 3 months to kind of make it, to implement linker and other parts so that we can have full working compiled version of PVM. Yeah, I think that's us briefly. Otherwise, yeah, focused on also existing work on Kagome, which is the Polkadot implementation, where we have the first release candidate for our 1.0 release, which is compatible with protocol and fixing some bugs there. So yeah, kind of trying to focus on Jam at the same time fixing bugs in Kagome. So yeah, kind of juggling on both projects as much as possible. Okay, that's us. Thanks.
Great, Camille. What is your grade now on TurboFlakes?
It's A plus.
Oh man, I'm congratulating you.
Or just A.
Nice,
A,
man.
you know? It's still amazing.
That's real nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, what it means for those who don't know, basically you can take already Kagome and run it instead of Polkadot and have the same grade of your validator and basically get the same amount of rewards. So yeah, anyway, that's not the focus for this conversation. So
yeah, like 2 questions. Like one, can you maybe send me the link with the A grade, because there were some people who need some convincing, I think, from something I heard. Other thing, like you're going like for a recompiler, or like is that just for the later milestones, or do you do it for performance or for correctness currently instead of using an interpreter?
For performance, I think, yeah. Unfortunately, the PVM guy is not in the code for now, so yeah, I'm not able to kind of share more details. So yeah, maybe next time, yeah, I can elaborate more.
I assume, Camille, that you're trying now to fine-tune the PVM for the reason is that it's also coming to the Polkadot in 2025, right? By the end of.
Oh yeah. We likely in the beginning we just use bindings, and but yeah, kind of trying to have PVM fully implemented in C++ as well as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason we're also focusing a lot of effort there. Great, thank you, Camille, for your update. Yeah, I see there was links. Okay, yeah, Saurabh, thank you for this GitHub Actions link. So there are only 2 endpoints right now, yes?
Yeah. As far as I know, but if you anybody who has more, we're eager to co-grade each other. So, and you're all welcome to just copy this over into your repo, and we'll try to keep it up to date. You can submit a pull request, or you just send me the link, and I'll test it out and add it.
Cool, thank you. I'm gonna have a silly question. So this API link is just, it leads to your like client implementation, right? So it's on the other end listening, you submit the JSON with your outputs, and hopefully you're compatible with Jamduna, right?
It checks for differences, meaning if the post state, one of the key value is missing or is slightly different, it'll put a left and a right saying, this is what one guy says and what the other guy says, and and it reports back on differences, on the individual state elements, so that we don't have to look too hard.
Yeah.
And
I mean-
I guess Oliver has an advanced version of it, which would be more of a challenge type
Yeah,
version.
no, I think like we shouldn't, we don't need to like reproduce like reverse engineer whatever I did here. I mean, just having error like OK code 200 or some error code 400, 500, I think is perfectly fine. We don't need to report like some exact error, like my error names are not like any standardized, if there's a signature wrong or some hash mismatch, then I mean, it's fine to just, return 400, 500, anything.
Do you also have public API over here?
What do you mean public API?
Like the one with Jamtuna. So
Sorry, I don't quite get the question.
like with these API functions, when you can basically call them and see the difference.
See the difference. You mean like or maybe I can send you the example link or share my screen.
Yeah. I wanna maybe I can share the screen and show
how it's supposed to work. Yeah, okay. I'm on a new browser, so let's see that this works.
Oh no, he left the meeting. Can handle such pressure. Oh no.
Here, I'll do the quick demonstration, just so you understand. Here is our, can you see my screen, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, it's loading.
Yes. Okay, so this is the GitHub Actions in action or some recent run, basically hitting our endpoint. We can hit Oliver's endpoint. I guess there might be a second variation here. And all it's doing is sending over one of the state transition files and saying, yes, it's okay. It turns out that I didn't update whatever the thing was, the thing that's the API endpoint sitting at this machine. And so because of that, I don't know, I think the first info call that Boy Moss reported, if I did update it, this would be okay. But to illustrate the idea, like because I didn't update it, if there are differences between whatever this file is on block 12 and what the API, then the API endpoint spits back and says, I don't know what you're talking about. We have a small difference here, therefore our state root is different. And so that's basically all it's doing right now. And then what's behind here is something, behind the API is something which literally does, apply state transition and it receives this file, which is nothing more than the pre-state and the block and a state root. Nothing really fancy. And I think Oliver was just saying that don't worry about this. Just give back 200s and 400 somethings, and that'll be enough for us to go 99% of what we need. And you don't have to get fancy with all this different stuff, although I'm sure it'll be useful for debugging. That's it.
Yeah, thanks, exactly, yeah. I had to restart my browser. Like, I don't know how many of you people switched since Chrome disabled the uBlock, but yeah, thanks for jumping in.
Cool, thank you guys. Who else want to share the progress? All right. That seems that nobody else want to share the progress. Okay, nevertheless, do we have Daniel on the call? We wanted maybe to chat about the Lisbon event. I don't see him though. Okay, so what I wanted to chat is that maybe there might be a good idea if we can come up with some agenda. That I guess we can discuss in channel, so we can be more prepared about some topics to discuss, or maybe have some small talks or presentations. If anyone has idea about what he want to present about, or maybe some different conversational topic on during the GEMX event, please. I guess let's reach out on the channel to each other. All right, and yeah, one more reminder, the event is from 6 to 7. It was recently updated in Luma. So please update your dates in calendar. Great. I guess then our next topic will be the Gem DAO. That's a hot one. Saurabh, you wanna jump in?
I don't know if it's a hot one until other people get excited. I think it's hot, but I don't know that many of you have participated in OpenGov. It is a fascinating, cutting edge kind of idea, just like Jam itself, you know. And so I don't know of any of you as being active voters. I know the Gossamer and Kagome teams are recipients and should be big voters, but I don't know what you guys are doing with how your votes get delegated. But for the rest of us, we probably should learn how to participate, because all of us, if you're expecting to win your several $100,000 DOT after doing all this crazy multi-year adventure, you will be able to vote. And if you count the votes, I just do here, sorry, 10 million times, 6 or some number like that, because they will be locked for 2 years or something like that, according to Rule 25 or 26, whatever the number is. Together, we have a lot of potential voting power, which means if you want to get a race car driver or sponsor the Olympics in 2028, whatever it is, you can do that. And we have as much power as all the decentralized voices put together if we all just participate. And I thought in this year, we could learn, if you haven't learned how to learn the art of OpenGov, maybe we could try. And I submitted, for pretty much the hell of it, a cohort 4 application. No particular reason why we should be in cohort 4, but versus 5. But I think it's good to practice us working together as a group beyond being in a test net, which is always fun and our primary objective. Maybe we could socialize more. Maybe we could talk together once a week, and it could be like pool table conversations. I'm not really sure what happens in other DAOs like Chaos DAO and Kus DAO or whatever, but it's a lot of fun for them, and maybe it could be a lot of fun for us to be drinking buddies and vote on proposals. I did draft as per the Web3 Foundation requirement, a forum post, and my idea is that we should be able to get at least 8 or so of us out of 20 something or maybe 30 something teams to vote on all the major proposals of consequence. And that is a responsibility, and I don't want to take on the responsibility if we don't have at least a half dozen teams being interested in it. So if you do have an interest in looking at OpenGov, the other major cool innovation in Polkadot in my view, then please write on the forum that you want to participate. And what that means to me is that we would just sort of vote on things, and vote on things that show up in various tracks with the nominated, 4 or 6? I don't know what the number is now. 6 million, 4 to 6 million DOT that gets allocated to each DV. And I hope that if not in cohort 4, that in cohort 5 we have gotten to know each other a little bit more. We could in fact practice at voting prior to the big responsibility, maybe these few months. But I understand that we're all very busy just implementing Jam, so we got to figure out whether we really want to do it now or whether we should do it later. But there's no debate that in 2026 we will be a force of nature. That's my advertisement.
Great. So as far as I understand, we're a little bit late for the cohort 4 because it was a deadline was on 5th March. No?
I filed the forum. I filed the forum post and filed the application. So we made the cutoff, but but you should all write a post to indicate your enthusiasm. Otherwise, the powers that be will say you guys aren't bickering enough or something to be a real DAO. Although it's just me. So please, I think we got 3 comments or something.
There are 3 of them.
Just very concretely, you would like us to write a post to show our enthusiasm, different posts, or just a comment in perpetual post just to be very concrete on what's.
I think if you want to participate regularly, which it's if you're a serious, hey, let's do this, let's vote on stuff, let's shoot the let's shoot the OpenGov proposals down that don't deserve it, or the ones that are really awesome. We would vote up. I mean, don't just write a comment, but be serious about participating. I did. As Color for Lotion, maybe around 200 votes or something. I don't know exactly what the number is. A couple hundred votes. So it was a lot of fun last year. But now that I'm focused on Jam, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing it enough because we're so busy, shooting, dealing with issues and so on. So it is a small commitment, but it's a lot of fun if you're, and it makes you feel like you're a civic participant in Polkadot, which is for me a pretty big deal. And there's no debate how important Jam is going to be to Polkadot, and we have the power to shape how the technical future is, and we're going to see OpenGov, being validated by Jam and through Asset Hub. So it's going to be cool to see all the things connect, and it's important for us to get involved, I think. But if you're going to be like, no, I can't participate in this, and I only then I don't think it's genuine. So just try to be genuine about it.
Can you just elaborate on maybe on the post, elaborate in a reasonable amount on what commitment you would require? Because I think a lot of people might say, yes, we want to do this, sounds awesome, but it would be nice to know what kind of commitment it would require for each team and for each member.
I can write it up. Sure, no problem. I'll do that.
Thank you.
It's hard to estimate, but I'll make a guess.
That's exactly what I wanted to elaborate, and I kind of started this by writing a message in Element under your post. But my idea is that, first of all, decentralized voices, they want to give the delegation until there is some, rules established within the community. So, for example, what I know the Chaos DAO, right? They have a really nice governance inside of it. So the way how the community delegate the votes and the way how they make the decision. So I am so get me right, I am 100% pro doing our Jam related DAO to influence the community to do the right votes. But I just believe that before we go into this, that's where I'm completely agree with Charles. We need to define the ground rules. We need to basically define this DAO. How we're going to do this is an open question. We can already fork some existing frameworks like Chaos DAO, for example, or we can come up with our own idea. But honestly speaking, just taking 50, 60 people from the Element channel, some of them maybe won't never get to milestone 1 or maybe milestone 2, and collecting their agreements on yeah, guys, let's participate and vote. It's probably not the best solution to this problem. But I am super open to communicate this more and to discuss this and make some solutions.
Are there any members of Chaos DAO in the group or well-functioning DAOs? I'm not aware of any, but please speak up, and because I think that the other guys, there's many other mature DAOs that have a good framework, I think, and then you can see them behave cohesively. At the same time, because people are busy, only 10% of the people who actually participate. So when you take 10% of 35 some teams, it's not that big of a number. So I don't imagine that it will be that hard to coordinate. And if we did have all 50, 60 people all clamoring, that would be awesome. I think just could have busy life, but I think the framework is important. And if you do have a good one to adapt from, that would be awesome. Does anybody want to take the lead here?
I can take my time preparing something. I have a couple friends from Chaos DAO, so I can ask around. But that's definitely not for this cohort 4. It's probably I need months too, or at least maybe finish milestone 1 and Jam and start somewhere there. So I am ready to participate in helping there. I saw hands raised. I saw the Oliver raise his hand.
Yeah, so from my perspective in general, I think it would help if we, already have some kind of established DAO before we go into this DV program. like that they see that there's already some voting activity and that people may also delegate to us or something. I think that's also the more important part. Like once you have that, it's probably comparatively easy to get the DV, but the other way around, I don't think so. And yeah, I also think it would feel more natural if we, start just by delegating to some specific multisig, and then that multisig executes the vote. So I don't know how other DIOs do this, but something like that. And then you can kind of opt in whenever you want. You can delegate your stake just from the relay chain like you usually would, and then like participate in some chat room to vote on there. Yeah, I would participate in that, but I don't have time to help with this directly.
Yes, it's a collaborative effort. We all should take small steps there. Yeah, let's think how we can do this.
If anybody wants to take the lead on that, the mechanics of multi-sig stuff, if I don't know what Gossamer and Kagomi's dot stash is, but we can have at least 1 million dot between the three of us if you guys have kept it in some form. I also have some family dot that would put us on the map in a visible way, and we would just need to since dot is so crappy today, or Trump is doing whatever he's doing on a typical Tuesday, we can probably do something that makes the voting meaningful in a scoreboard sense. And but if you don't have like 1 million dot, it's kind of hard to be relevant. So just doing a small, tiny stash doesn't make sense. But maybe if we put all of our pieces together and actually get other people to delegate beyond what we have, that might get somewhere.
That's also very important. After milestone 1, we all will have much more locked dots, which actually the only way how you can use them is basically delegating and voting. That will be huge. That's a big amount of voting power.
I think KSDAO has a Discord bot that you can integrate, and you can it will tell you when your referendum comes, and you just vote A or nay. And I am a PBA alum, and they recently launched like a PBA alumni DAO, which integrates this Discord bot. So now everyone is just putting A or nay on proposals, and then I don't know how much dot they have in their thing but yeah, at some point they vote on chain, and yeah, I think the tool, like the framework, is there, and we could probably integrate that, but yeah, we would need to look into it, I guess.
Thank you for the input. All right. Yes, let's move on to the next topic. Unless somebody want to jump in, maybe with an update, maybe about the DAO. Right. So Rob, the next topic was you put as the refining, networking, and erasure coding test vectors. I'm not sure if you already talked about this. I have it.
This is not a major topic. I mean, yes, we covered it already in our update. The erasure coding is a new topic, and I published something that basically Galicia published one erasure coding test vector, and Jason did one, and we had another. So it's like a little bit of like, do we need this transformation in Appendix H or not? Question. That's a technical topic. I'm sure it'll resolve itself if we just keep going on that. But it seems that maybe Kagomi people can know this, and you guys have been there, done that. But it seems there's a Reed-Solomon 3.01 package that we may wish to standardize on. I don't know for sure, really, but it does work. It does the job. And perhaps there's expertise to say that something or another is missing. But I think we need to get started on it. And if we, rather than wait for the powers that be to give us the perfect test vectors, we should just generate some ourselves. So I started the process just like 2 days ago because Galicia posted some last week, and we hope that the erasure coding package nuance stuff, can we just get on with it and then that'll imply that we could generate, hold on a second, I got my numbers wrong, 137, 139, blah, 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 in JAM-NP vectors that match that erasure coding package. So I think we can do that. And I'm going to just go ahead and do it and publish the stuff and see if anybody can catch on with whatever, or point out errors in the same repo. So I'll start posting things like that. I did post something with erasure coding already and shared it with the other guys who are doing the same thing. And I generated a test vector set for JAM-NP, which no one should take seriously. It's just a skeleton. But if we do get the availability spec right, then it would be immediately doable to do the 137, 138, 139, 140 set, which in our view is the meat of the hard problem in setting up a tiny testnet for real. Okay. So anyway, it's a general problem, and as you guys are all building a self-consistent, tiny, we think it's important for us to come out of the cave and check our work with each other and see whether the JAM-NP and the erasure coding details match, and then hopefully by the end of the month we end up with a matching result between the sum of us. That's basically the only thing that I can point at. I did have one starting point, which I literally put together yesterday, which I'll share in the chat. But it's a new topic, and I don't want anyone to immediately start assuming it's done. But yeah, that's the only thing I can really talk about right now. That's the idea.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Looks nice. Thank you. All right. What else? We have again, Saurabh, you proposed the next meeting already for California, sunny California.
I have too many topics. We could be maybe other. Is there anybody else who has another topic? No.
It's all you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said it's all you.
Okay. Yeah. I live in California. This is my home state. It's literally right across my office, where me and Michael sort of work. But yeah, assuming we have great success at Lisbon, which I'm sure we will. 3 months later, is that right? Between August or September, we can have another event. I can sponsor it, or maybe Daniel can give me whoever has the events bounty people behind it. But there's like literally sponsoring. What does that mean? Let's see, 8 rooms. So the guys who are actually serious about doing testnet stuff, no party animal people, just like real testnet hardcore types who want to get small or tiny, really working. You guys are welcome to come out here and stay a week or two. I got some really cheap deals from the guys who run the thing across the street. My landlord is Tim Draper, a Bitcoin expert who literally bought like 30,000 Bitcoin for like, $500 or something back in 2014. So he's the guy who runs this program called Draper University or Hero or whatever, Hero City. And so that would be like this hotel type place where we could all hang out. It's a really nice co-working area. And the structure might be that we just spend 2 weeks building, the equivalent of the Doom demonstration together, running on our own, 624 or whatever I say 18 or 24 node testnet, which I hope we could construct together by that point. So you have to love America enough. It's hard to think reasons about that these days, but to actually want to come here. And I didn't know if there was any interest from all you Europeans or non-US people to actually venture all the way out here to California or not. So hopefully you have plenty of time, but I need to tell the guys whether you guys, I need to have 6 interested parties beyond us to fill the rooms. Otherwise there's no point. So if you are interested, think about it. And it would be not a specific date or week in August or September, but to be useful, let's say the end of August or the early part of September. And as you're thinking about your Lisbon plans, think about your US plans, and to be reasonable, let's say by the end of the month, I'll tell the guy who gave me this offer whether I can do it. And it would probably be not like a social affair where we drink and eat too much, but just like get shit done is what I'm thinking.
We also can meet around at Connect, right, in Buenos Aires. It probably would be more accessible because of visas and price. So that also might be, but it's around November.
When is that? When? Okay, yeah, I was forgetting when.
So
that
it's
was.
like 15 November, is that how it's called? Dev Connect, right? Or Dev Connect? Dev Connect.
Yeah, Dev Connect.
So yeah, visa to AS might be a big problem right now.
Does anyone know how to run the Doom demonstration?
Do you know?
I mean, I think a lot of people are talking about it, and I get excited about it. And I think I think I got a lot of people excited on the Jam tour that Gab came back from last week. And so I guess if we collectively as a group start getting good at doing core VM / Doom type demonstrations, that would be a skill for us to try to be salesmen a bit on these non-Polkadot communities. So I think it's a good idea for us to pick up that skill. I don't know if Jan wants to tell us the secret of to do a Quake demo. Okay, but we need some training on how to be salespeople of Jam outside of our Polkadot bubble here. Jan, you want to tell us the answer? Yeah.
I mean, are you asking me how to run it? I mean, I'm not sure if everything is public right now, so you might have to wait. I mean, most of the work on the Doom demo is another guy is doing that. So I helped him out a little bit because I originally ported the Doom. But like he had to make some changes to actually run it, on Jam, because my port just ran it on Polka VM. So yeah. So I mean, I don't know the details if on how exactly to run it and if it's public already. I mean, eventually it probably will be. So yeah.
I think you gave us a comment a couple of weeks ago, which is like, don't look inside the PokeVM repo, and then we all were like, no, we already took a peek.
I mean, it depends on what you want to look like. Some parts you probably shouldn't, but some parts should be completely fine. So like, yeah. I mean, if you want to err on the side of caution, you might not look at all, but so some parts are completely fine.
We'd appreciate Quake. So Quake, you're not joking about that.
No, I am not joking.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I have compiled Quake to RISC-V today, so I mean it's not done yet, but we will probably get working.
Okay, cool. So hopefully, if anybody figures out the secret way of giving great demonstrations, we can try getting all of us salesman type people to spread the good word.
So what you mean is kind of like a Jam in the box demo kind of thing, like one repository that you can kind of like run a demo with, or?
I think we'd like to say, to be able to tell other communities. I don't know, nothing specific. But it's very convenient to go hang around Bitcoin and Ethereum communities and try to piggyback off of their stuff. I mean, everyone's tribal in their own way, but that would be cool to be able to tell the awesome story of trustless supercomputing, which it really is, with demos that match for real, and for us to all to explain exactly how it works with the demo that excites people who won't learn Jam in a day, obviously, but will look at that demonstration and say, how does it really work? And all of us who know how it works, because we know what's going on in DA, and work packages and so on, we can back it up both with a tech talk and a killer demo. Not very unlike what Gab does in his similar lecture, which you can all take a look at now, which is really quite cool, I think.
Yeah. Like if you want to make it really foolproof, it would probably be like something web-based or so. Like you open a website and it just connects to some Jam testnet, which renders everything, and you just have like the video display basically in the browser. Then you can give it to any salesman, I guess. But yeah, it's probably a bit down the road.
We're going to do our own little version of it, since we don't know how to do it quite ourselves yet, with the Game of Life, which you can program in 2 pages. The Game of Life, if you've never heard of it, is like a little grid of 2 by 2, a 2-dimensional XY kind of world where everything is just the state is just on or off for all the bits. And in a little grid of 3 pixels, you can decide the next state of the pixel based on how many neighbors are on. I learned it when I was 17 and in the early 90s, late 80s. And if you can check it out, it's a publicly visible thing. So that's a really fast to program, easy to explain, and then you can see the code, and you can put it into work packages and have the visualization, which is why the Doom stuff is so cool. So I think that'll be one of our refined test vectors, basically.
That's a nice one. I like that.
I have one more topic since no one else has topics, which is the chain specs. Because of a comment by Dave Emmett, that basically the pages are pretty much, I think, analogous to segments in segments of being 4104, which I assume is chosen because it's 4096 plus 8. That caused a realization that the chain specs, that the choices that we made for the number of validators and cores were slightly off. So I reparameterized the chain specs to match the various factors of 4104 that match the erasure coding ones. So if you didn't notice, the chain specs.json has changed a little bit. I didn't get much feedback from anybody else on it, but if you check Emmett checked out my math anyway, and he said that seems reasonable. So if you all think that's reasonable, I will kind of pseudo ratify it by posting a PR into the JamBrains docs.jamchain repo. But please take a look to check the math on the what times what equals 4104 stuff, and whether it makes you happy that tiny, small, medium, large at least work, have those numbers in that chain specs file. And maybe you guys can comment in the PR into the JamBrains repo if you disagree with those choices.
So
did anyone have any thoughts on that?
The tiny one also changed, or?
No, the tiny the tiny one, it didn't really change. It's still 6 and 2 cores with 6 validators, but the what is it called? WG being 4104, we finally said, oh, let's just do it, and that set us on this course of revisiting our erasure coding life. So it's we should definitely choose 4104. It's a nice number. And then that implied that WE, which is the WE is, sorry, I think the number is like 4, and the other number is 1026. Did I get that right? Yeah, 1026. So that's actually what actually changed, is those two numbers, which if you didn't do erasure coding, you didn't think about it. But if you did erasure coding stuff before, you would have to actually change your little v equals 6 guaranteeing life a bit. And then based on that decision, you basically make the similar decisions across all the other chain specs as v increases from like 6 to 18, 6, 12, 18, 24, and 36, something like that. 24, it turned out to not work and because it wasn't the factors, the factors of 4104 didn't map into 24, so I had to change small. Not that anyone was doing any small that I know of, but you can review the math on that and see if it makes you happier or unhappier. I guess I don't understand how we're all going to fit into the Jam toaster, but I think it's possible that if we all build our own tiny and small ourselves, we can all definitely fit together in in a 1023 cluster. But perhaps we will want to graduate from tiny and small to large and extra large configurations, and even all of us could. The first 10 groups can fit it with extra large configurations all together. So you could have 10 groups doing extra large and all doing, fitting into a 1024 node Jam toaster. So you need to sort of like look at how your code base can support different sized different size Vs well. So at least for us, we started, redoing our configs to be able to go from tiny to small and whatever we wanted flexibly. So does anybody have any choices on chain specs outside of tiny? Are all of us doing Tiny's v equals 6 configurations on our own? I assume that's what we're all doing, since that's what the test vectors look like. Any other choices that we've explored? No. Okay. Yes. So I think there's a graduation from our individual tinies into a group small, and maybe. One way of proceeding is that we can all, for us, we could all say, could we invite a 6th member into our tiny and have everything work? This is like a pragmatic solution. And you could sort of turn off your 6th node and say, okay, supposing that was some other team member, and we could all sort of pairwise work together into like groups of having tinies work without changing chain specs. That seems to be like a pragmatic answer. And then once you work with that at least one other team, then we invite 2, and maybe in the end we could have 6 completely different clients all working in a tiny testnet. I think after thinking about it for a couple of weeks, that might be saner and easier to coordinate than all of us going into small, or something in between 6 and 12 and 18. But you guys, we can all figure it out later in Lisbon is what I'm hoping for. Anybody have ideas on how we should build a tiny testnet?
No ideas.
Come on, guys, we gotta work together on this.
We're a bit over time, sorry.
Yeah, I guess it's taking longer. All right. Last chance for somebody if we have something else to discuss. Okay, I believe we're gonna call it a day. And guys, thank you very much for coming. Exciting things we're doing, and I'll see you around, see you in all the channels. Good luck and have a good day.
Thanks.
Peace out, everyone.
Hi, see you.
Bye.
You guys.